Good day to our participants present here today. This learning session is important as our country faces the medical and economic setbacks from the COVID-19 pandemic, which has been further exacerbated by the worsening climate. We in the Climate Change Commission believe that climate resiliency should be the top priority of every instrumentality to ensure that humankind will continue to survive and thrive. We need to build a system that is more resilient in facing pandemics, climate change, and other emerging global challenges. After we learn the overview of climate change risk, climate change adaptation, mitigation, and disaster risk reduction, an introduction to climate change expenditure tagging and its linkage to the Philippine Development Plan from the earlier presentations. This presentation will focus on environmentally friendly initiatives that national government agencies, state universities and colleges, and government-owned and controlled corporations can adopt to ensure that climate change considerations are being implemented and observed in everyday processes and operations. Here are the organization and individual level actions to make our daily operations more climate friendly. To start with, we have first, harvesting rainwater. Rainwater harvesting can serve as an alternative source of water. It provides water when there is a drought and can help mitigate flooding. The harvested rainwater can be used for cleaning office spaces, flushing toilets, and gardening. As early as 1989, Republic Act 6716, otherwise known as the Rainwater Collector and Spring Development Law, mandates the construction of water wells and rainwater collectors, developing springs, and rehabilitating existing water wells in barangays nationwide. Some local government units, like Marikina City, had implemented initiatives on establishing rainwater harvesting in their government facilities and school buildings. Second, greening workspaces. Through simple ways, we can convert vacant spaces at our offices and homes, even in public spaces, to plant fruits, vegetables, and herbs for food sufficiency and stability. Aside from that, having plants and trees improves the air quality, reduces stress, and enhances the environmental landscape of our workspaces. Just ensure that we plant species that are native to our area and can withstand the problems present in our community, such as pollution, floods, among others. Third, reducing energy consumption and harnessing solar and other renewable energy sources. Today, more and more establishments are choosing renewable energy. This is also an interesting option for our agencies. On-site renewable power generation, like the use of solar panels, is a way to cut emissions related to electricity consumption. Installing energy-efficient lights by replacing incandescent lamps with compact fluorescent lamps or light-emitting diodes. Turning off the lights in the office in the evening is likely lowering the heating or the air conditioning units, or taking devices off the plugs when it is not needed are some good individual actions we can implement. Fourth, implementing solid waste management practices, recycling, reusing, and refusing single-use plastics, and reducing food waste. Aside from dangerous pollutants to bodies of water, single-use plastics are fossil fuel products that contribute to global warming and climate change. Shifting to products in reusable containers or to products sold in bulk is a solution to reduce the amount of plastic waste generated. Another way to reduce our climate footprint is to reduce the amount of waste that goes into our landfills. Segregate waste by its type, sort, and separate the recyclable from the non-recyclable. Recyclable materials such as newspapers, glass bottles, aluminum cans, and discarded metal parts can be sent to junk shops and recycling facilities. The food waste we generate also leave a higher carbon footprint. In order to reduce the portion of biodegradable waste, let us consume food responsibly. Unavoidable byproducts of food, such as leaves and branches, vegetables and fruit peels, seeds, among others, can be used as natural fertilizers to biodegradable composting. Fifth, choosing greener equipment and sustainable suppliers. Choose more environmentally friendly infrastructures and equipment. Or when the time comes to buy new office materials or machines, if the ones can no longer be fixed or more are needed, choose the most energy efficient and sustainable ones. We should also make the effort to choose suppliers who demonstrate good environmental practices. It is also important to use equipment and devices properly to avoid them getting deteriorated faster and to repair gadgets when they break down instead of replacing them with new ones. Sixth, optimizing employees' transportation and promoting environmentally friendly ways of working. As we know, transportation is one of the largest contributors to greenhouse gas emissions. By encouraging our employees to use sustainable modes of transportation or by providing them shuttle services, companies can significantly reduce their indirect carbon dioxide emissions and therefore their impact on climate change. Some ways of working are more ecological than others. Telecommuting, for example, has many ecological advantages. One can also consider video conferences that avoid employees traveling by car for meeting with clients. Seventh, building capacity of local communities to prepare and respond to climate and health risk. Understanding local climate and disaster risk and improving multi-hazard early warning systems will ensure early action and preparedness to disasters at the agency and community levels. Ensure that our buildings and infrastructures can cope with extreme weather impacts such as strong typhoons and floods. Incorporate expected climate impacts in planning and decision-making, such as undertaking a climate risk assessment in our local vicinity. Strengthening capacities in emergency preparedness and response, including warning system communication protocols, evacuation procedures, contingency and recovery planning, and regular simulation exercises and drills in the establishments and facilities will not only save lives, but also enable communities to build back better from the cascading impacts of extreme weather events. Last but not the least, raising awareness through information dissemination and capacity building. We all have a role in raising awareness of our employees, partners, media, and other stakeholders. Organizing webinars and learning sessions like this to raise and improve awareness on climate issues is a great idea. These initiatives gradually create the ground for best practices that individuals then reproduce at home and transmit to our families, friends, and communities. The snowball effect, so to speak. In closing, there is a greater need to climate-proof our agencies and facilities now more than ever, for we do not have the luxury of time to remain still if we aim to halt the trend of the devastating impacts of climate change to our communities. Through this learning session and beyond, let us learn from one another, support each other's climate actions, advise on strategies, and strike convergence where possible. We in the Climate Change Commission are looking forward to work with all of you to further survive and thrive within this crucial decade and beyond. I trust that you will be our staunch partners in raising awareness for sustainable development, mobilizing direct action, and promoting solutions to climate change. Let us work together as a community, as a nation, and as a planet toward a safe, sustainable, and resilient future for us and the next generation. Thank you very much, and I hope you learn a lot from this presentation.